Now, if you happen to be under 25 years old and you like the cinema, let me tell you now, you have missed a treat. Because in the days when I was a little bit younger, we'd queue for hours and hours in all weathers to watch anything that was produced for the Cinerama screen. Now, this is Cinerama. It went out of existence a quarter of a century ago, but now the National Museum of Photography, Film and Television in Bradford have resurrected it, have given it the kiss of life to mark their 10th birthday. This is now the world's only Cinerama theatre. Come to the pictures with us. Mr. Projectionist, if you please. Almost from the day it was launched in New York in 1952, Cinerama was a sensation. With its special screen to take a picture produced by 3 separate projectors and an audio system that surrounded the audience with sound, it wasn't just a picture show, it really was an experience.
It's a real piece of archaeology, and you really do feel that you're achieving something. I mean, we could have just stuck the projectors in a glass case and left it at that, but that doesn't seem to me to be really putting Cinerama in a museum. This is putting Cinerama in a museum. It's getting that original experience back.
You got the word to go, the buttons were pressed. There was a big sigh of relief when it actually rolled and you got on screen. The audience got the effect out in the auditorium, and you got the effect in the projection box of the immenseness of it. It was a very satisfying feeling in those days showing Cinerama.
Now, as I said, this is the world's only Cinerama cinema, but if you want to travel to Ohio in America, you can see Cinerama in a slightly different form, because Mr. John Harvey has joined us. He has a scaled-down version of a Cinerama cinema in his home.
That's correct, Alan. It meant that much to me, and this all happened, after I was divorced. So it didn't bring on the divorce. I want you to know that right away.
Now, how on earth? We've got some pictures actually of the setup in your home. Yes. How on earth do you manage to find room to live in there, surrounded by all this equipment?
Well, as I was telling somebody earlier, I took all kinds of plans and set them down on the desk in front of me. Even considered really taking out the main floor of the home if I had to, in order to accommodate the largest Cinerama screen I could. So I could share that with young people and people who wanted to see it again.
So what did you have to do then? You had to obviously sacrifice some rooms.
Oh yes, I had 2 bedrooms that really weren't being used, and so out they came, up went the ceiling, and the dining room came out. But the kitchen I kept because it was so important, to have a kitchen. And the result, though, has been wonderful for all the people now coming to my home to see it in America.
Do any of them ever say?
They probably think that, but that's why I hasten to say I did this, after my divorce.
And Cinerama really does mean so much to you. It means so much that you've travelled across the pond to be here today.
Oh yes, Cinerama has been in my life all my life, since I was 17. And it's most rewarding for me today to be sitting close to Mrs. Doris Waller, the widow of Fred Waller, and watch the emotion, the expressions on her face to see it again after all these years.
I know it means a very great deal to a lot of people, particularly members of your International Cinerama Society.